Welcome to Studio 54, currently owned by and operated as the venue for the Roundabout Theater Company, and home of its production of The People in the Picture. This Landmark Broadway Theater has a history unlike any other. It is most famously known as a discotheque or nightclub. In the 1970s, it was arguably one of the most well-known nightclubs in the world. It is considered to have played a major role in the formation of disco and nightclub culture. The building, often known as Studio 54 Building, was designed by architect Eugene DeRosa in 1927 for Fortune Gallo to be used as the Gallo Opera House for his San Carlo Opera Company, who holds the distinction of having performed in the very first sound film of a complete opera. The doors to the Gallo Opera House opened in February 1927 with the opera La Bohème. In 1929, after a failed Oscar Hammerstein production, the Gallo Opera House closed its doors. From then until the 1970s, when it became the infamous Studio 54, the building underwent many changes and was eventually purchased by the Columbia Broadcasting System, better known as the CBS Broadcast Network, and was renamed CBS Studio 52. Until the mid-1970s, CBS used the location as a radio and TV stage for such productions as What's My Line?, The $64,000 Question, Password, To Tell the Truth, I've Got a Secret, and Captain Kangaroo. In 1976, CBS no longer needed Studio 52 and put it up for sale. The following year, the building was purchased and converted into the Studio 54 nightclub by nightlife entrepreneurs Steve Rubel and Ian Schrager, this time named for its address. Celebrities who attended opening night included Andy Warhol, Calvin Klein, Michael Jackson, Mick Jagger, Rick James, Liza Minnelli, Brooke Shields, Janice Dickinson, and Cher, to name a few. Other celebrities, such as Woody Allen and Frank Sinatra, were denied entry into the club. Within a month of its opening, it was raided and temporarily closed by the New York State Liquor Authority for operating without a liquor license. Until February 4th, 1980, Studio 54 was operated by the infamous and flamboyant Steve Rubel, known for hand-selecting guests from the huge crowd waiting outside. The nightclub, which held about 700 guests who each paid an $8 cover charge, became notorious for the hedonism that occurred inside. Sex and drugs were rampant. Its dance floor was decorated with a depiction of the man in the moon and included an animated cocaine spoon. In 1978, Rubel was quoted in New York newspapers as saying Studio 54 had made $7 million in its first year, and that only the mafia made more money. Shortly after that statement, the nightclub was raided, and authorities claimed they found money and drugs hidden in its walls. Rubel was arrested and convicted for stealing $2.5 million from the club. He served slightly more than a year in prison. On February 4th, 1980, the club closed with the final party called The End of Modern-Day Gomorrah. In 1981, with Rubel as the principal investor, JISA Associates sold the Studio 54 building for $2 million to Philip Pylevesky. During the 1980s, such emerging artists as Madonna, Wham, Duran Duran, Culture Club, Menudo, Run DMC, and Kiss all performed at Studio 54. In the years between 1983 and 1994, the club was remodeled, and the original Studio 54 logo was resurrected and trademarked by CAT Entertainment. It is rumored that during this time an access door between Studio 54 and the Ed Sullivan Theater located around the corner, and now home to The Late Show with David Letterman, was cinder-blocked. However, it is possible that this access door actually led to an MTA utility building. In 1994, Allied Partners purchased the building for $5.5 million and restored much of the original architectural detail, and once again reopened the nightclub with a live concert by Gloria Gaynor, Vicki Sue Robinson, and Sister Sledge. In 1996, after going into bankruptcy, Allied Partners announced plans to demolish the building and replace it with Cyberdrome, a virtual reality gaming venue. However, the project was never completed. In 1998, after more than 50 years, a theatrical performance returned to Studio 54 when the Roundabout Theater Company brought their successful revival of the Broadway musical Cabaret to the venue, where it ran until 2004. With its successful run of Cabaret, the Roundabout Theater Company purchased the Studio 54 building for $22.5 million. It has since been the home to many of Roundabout's successful Broadway performances, and is currently the home of their Tony-nominated production of The People in the Picture. With a history as sordid and captivating as any production to grace its stage, and for reasons both theatrical and cultural, Studio 54 has become a world-famous Broadway landmark theater.